another episode of Gemma Darling Daily. I think this is episode 7. I have a lot to talk to you about, but I'm going to try to keep it short because podcasts have been getting longer lately. Have you noticed? Some of them are well over an hour. And as much as I love certain podcasters, I think that it's very hard for me to watch one that's really, really long. So we're going to try to keep it to a half an hour. The baby is at my mom's sleeping right now, so I had time to podcast. I cut my hair, which is why it's a little crazy. I'm probably going to touch it the entire episode. Not going to apologize. And so baby's sleeping. My husband is off for a month in between jobs. He got a new job and he decided to give himself a tiny little bit of breathing room. So I have had a lot of help lately, which is good. And it means I've had a lot of time to knit. But having a lot of time to knit doesn't mean that I'm going to knit one thing from start to finish. It means I had cast-on-itis and went to the yarn store a little more than I should have. And it means that I've got a lot of acquisitions to show you and a lot of whips. And so let's start because it's a lot of stuff. The other night, I decided that I was going to start now I'm blanking on the name. I'm making a worsted boxy by Hoagie Locatelli for myself because I just think it looks like a great sweater and I want to wear it. And then I was looking online and I saw that they had the baby one and what is it called? Little Boxy. So I'm making this for Francesca and I just cast on. This is what I'm using. I'm using Hedgehog Fibers Skinny Siggles in concrete. And this is King Fiber, and I can't remember the colorway name. I'm really sorry. But I got this at Do You Knit, and it was just this random skein that was sitting there, and it had this beautiful green in it. It's got greens and light gray, and I thought it would look really pretty striped into this, but I may put a little bit of pink in it. I'm not really the type of mom that likes to just dress my daughter head to toe pink. Her nursery's red. But it's really hard to find baby stuff that's not pink for baby girls. And so some of it just ends up being pink. So a pink stripe here and there, fine. But this is what I have so far. I'm doing it on needles that are way too small for it because I'm using my size 2s for something else. I'll show you. And I really should just order another set because it seems to be a size that a lot of patterns call for. So I really should just have more than one set. I want the Chia Goo interchangeable sock needles, but that's another story. So this is what I have so far. I've done the bottom rib, the 1x1, and I've gone into the garter stitch. So I don't have much, but it's a tiny sweater. It's a mindless knit. I'm knitting it in the round. You can do it in, there's a seamed version and a knitting in the round version, and I'm doing it in the round because then I can just binge watch Gilmore Girls at night and knit. So that's my first whip. That's my tiny whip. And then I haven't really worked on my own boxy, which is kind of stupid, but I figure I'll get them to the same point and then I'll figure out the pattern for both of them. It's the same pattern, I believe. It's just one's a lot tinier. So this is where I am on mine right now. So I just did the body. It's going to be huge, but you know, sometimes you just want to throw on that huge sweater and not think about it. Black leggings, this, perfect. So what inspired me was that my mom just booked our rooms for Rhinebeck. Yay! I have no idea where we're staying. Don't ask me. Don't care. Just know we have rooms. So she said she was going to cast on a boxy. And I was like, oh, I'm making one too. And then I thought, well, Francesca's coming with us to Rhinebeck, and we all know Christy Glass does her Show Me Your Rhinebeck sweater video, and I was like, what's cuter than the three of us having the same sweater? Nothing. We're going to win Rhinebeck. It's living in my Bowie bag. I got this at Target. I love it. I use it all the time. So. Then, what's in this bag? Okay, we'll get to this later. Then I had talked last episode about that fade in the chubby. I haven't worked on it too much because again, I have a kid that's about to turn 1 who literally climbs on everything now and is practically walking. So I don't have a lot of time to do anything that needs counting, but I did cast on, and I'm using the pattern The Outline Shawl, which is on hedgehogfibers.com. I believe Beata wrote it herself, and I'm using that as my pattern. Except in the pattern, it calls for 4 repeats of 30, and I only did 2 because otherwise it's going to be a blanket and it's just going to eat yarn. But so far, I'm using the teacup, Chubby and Teacup. Kind of looks like a bra with boobs in it already. It needs to be blocked. So, but this is the first stripe so far. Doesn't look like much, but you can see all the patterning and how beautiful the Chubby is knitting up and how soft it's knitting up. I'm loving it. I love it. And it's something that I hope I'll finish over the spring and the summer, because even though, who wants to knit with Chubby in the summer? I know, but by the time it's fall, I'll be able to just wrap myself in it. So sometimes you got to take one for the team and just sweat a little. I mean, that's what air conditioning was invented for, right? Yes. So, ugh. I'm getting fuzz in my mouth from the Chubby. Got it. Sorry. Okay, probably going to cut that out. All right, so we're going to go from the teacup right into this. This is the next color. It's Whisper, Hedgehog Fibers Chubby. And I was contemplating using 2 skeins of each as I go along and just doing the fade in one direction. Or I was thinking maybe because I have 2 skeins of each color, it's like maybe I'll just do 1 of each color, something in the middle, and then go back. But I don't know if I like that as much. I think the 1 fade will look really nice. So if you have any opinion on it, let me know in the comments. I will keep you updated on this Chubby fade situation as things unfold. It really does look like a bra. A weird bra, but a bra. All right, I'll have to figure that out. So that is living in my tangled mess of a Knit and Let Knit, and this is from the Fringe Supply Company. And I've got some pins on it because once I saw a pin that said Chocolate Slut, I thought, where should that go? On my knitting bag. Lately I've gotten a little pin crazy, as I've showed you in the past, but finally got around to putting them on some of my bags. So now I look like a high schooler. What else? Let's see. So the baby blanket that I wanted to make for my cousin, she requested a baby blanket. She didn't tell me anything about it. She doesn't need it by a certain time, which I'm better with due dates. So I kind of cast on a couple times, didn't like things. I picked the yarn. It's an acrylic yarn because, let's face it, if you're making something for a baby and you do it with merino, it's going to get ruined. And, you know, it's not intentional, but things come out of babies. They just do. So, acrylic. But I have to say, this acrylic that I'm using, I like it. I've got a whole bunch of it right here. It's the Patton's Beehive Chunky Baby. And it's really knitting up nice. And I decided to do 2 strands at a time so that it would be faster, but I think it's coming out a little thick. I don't know. I think when I block it, it'll be nicer. And once again, I am trying to use that pattern for Christian's scarf. And I've tried 3 different projects with it, and I don't know. It's a 10-line repeat, so it's not bad. And it's intuitive, so if it's pretty much, if I think about it, it's in my head. But oh my God, these bangs are driving me nuts. Yeah. I have a cowlick in the front, which makes my hair not lay flat, which is why I'm always playing with my hair. So I'm really sorry. Anyway, this is it so far. I should show you the other side. Okay. And it's super, super soft, but it's really thick. So it's really thick. So I don't know, maybe that will block out. Do you block acrylic yarn? I don't even know. I think so, right? I'll have to look into that. But look how cute it is. So 3 or 4 more repeats of as big as this is, and I should be good. I really like working on it because It is. It's just really soft. And this is a really great pattern. So don't get me wrong. If you want to make Christian's scarf, please go on my Ravelry page. I'm Gemma Darling on Ravelry, and just find it, because I've started a scarf out of it, and now I'm making the baby blanket. And oh my God, my bangs are driving me nuts. Okay, no. Whatever. I just cut them, and I always cut them too short, and then they're cowlicking, and it's bad. So, yes, you did tune into this podcast just to watch me play with my hair. I know. I know. You're welcome. Okay. So, that's the baby blanket. I'm kind of going a little fast, because again, I don't want a podcast forever. I have a date with Bloomingdale's and their frozen yogurt, which, by the way, 25 calories an ounce. Not fattening, and it's the only frozen yogurt with active cultures. You're welcome. If you have a Bloomingdale's near you that has a 40 carats in it, go get the plain yogurt. It's delicious. That's living in my Fringe Supply Company bin, which I have yet to put pins on. That will be forthcoming. I got my Hedgehog Fibers club colors. I'm going to be completely honest, they're not really me. They're not super me. And one of them is. I love it. So I got 2 skinny singles, because when you sign up for the Skinny Singles Club, you get 2 a month for 3 months. And then I signed up for the Aran Club, because there's that baby blanket that I want to make for Francesca out of the Aran. It's not really my taste, though. So this color is Firestone. See, it's beautiful, but it's not my taste. So that'll be coming up later in my Destash. I'm going to tell you all about my Destash I'm going to be having on Etsy this weekend. Not too many skeins, but enough to enjoy it. So if there's anything that you'd like, log on. It's all going to be really cheap. And this is the other one I got for the skinny singles. I think it's Eglantine. It's a mauve, and it's not really me. It's gorgeous. And if no one buys it, maybe I'll gift it to Kristen from the Yarngasm podcast, because we all know that she loves mauve. But I don't know. I look at certain skeins that are in my stash now, and they're beautiful. But whenever I come up with a project that I want to start, it's not a color I'm going to go to. I just know myself. It's not a color I'm going to go to. So I decided to open that up to you guys. And so I will be destashing, and I'll go into that. I have all of them right here to show you. I'll talk about that in a little while. But this is the third one that came from the Skinny Singles, and I don't know what this says. Azurlado? I don't know, but I don't care because it's gorgeous. If anybody got a Skinny Singles club and likes the other color, the Eglantine, and doesn't want this one, I will gladly trade with you. So just let me know in direct message, okay? But this, love. So, as soon as I'm done with my whips, we'll talk all about that. I did that one. What other one didn't I do? I think it's, okay. So, last Saturday, I took a class with Lavanya Petrosella, who is a wonderful, wonderful knitter in our community, if you don't know who she is. She's really the princess of brioche. Her main focus, I believe, is brioche. She's incredible at it and writes beautiful patterns for brioche. But she had designed a couple months ago these Stitch Witch socks. And they are so adorable. I'm not a sock knitter. We've talked about this. I'm not a sock knitter. But they're a DK weight knee sock. And they're adorable. So, oh, she doesn't have the picture in here. She gave me at the class the pattern, but it didn't have the picture. And I'm trying to find the one with the pictures. But it printed out super, super tiny. And then my daughter had her way with it. So it's super crinkly now. Let's see if I can find the picture. Anyway, there we go. Stitch Witch socks. So, yeah, it printed out super small. That's what I've been following in the dark. But anyway, if you're committed, you're committed. I should be committed. Ah, these bangs. Oh. All right. So she had a class at Do You Knit, and I signed up for it. My mom and I went, and there were a lot of really great people there. Christy Glass was in the class, and that rhymed. And it was K-Paw's birthday, and if you look on my Instagram, you can see a video of us cutting her cake. It was a lot of fun, but unfortunately my mother and I had to go to a funeral that morning, so I didn't know if we were going to be late or not, so I started the sock before we got there. And I taught myself the Turkish cast-on, which if you make socks, the Turkish cast-on for toe-up socks is super simple and amazing. And it gives you this seamless toe. I don't even think you can see that. Anyway, these are my socks so far. And I've got my Deathly Hallows stitch marker on it from Molly from a Homespun House. I don't think you can see a lot today. I'm very sorry, my lamp just blew out, so I'm having trouble with lighting. But these two colors are hedgehog fibers, like duh. And the first one is Bramble. It's a beautiful, beautiful, I don't know what color I would say it is. Like it's browns and greens. It's beautiful. And then this one, which is Nutmeg, which is kind of like the opposite of the Bramble. So they really, really complement each other. So that's what I'm using for my Stitch Witch socks. And every 3 lines, I just switch colors, and I think I'm almost at the heel. These might be a little small, so I was thinking I might frog them and make a bigger size, or maybe use a bigger needle. We're using a size 2 with DK, and it makes a really, really dense sock. But since, you know, it's not winter, we're coming into spring, and I would still wear these. I think I'm going to wear them to Rhinebeck, because we're all going to wear them to Rhinebeck. But I don't know. Maybe I'll just turn the heel on this and then leave these as shorties and make myself like a long pair. I don't know. My husband and I are talking about having a second kid, and my feet grew during my first pregnancy, and so maybe I'll just make a pair of leg warmers. I don't know, because I don't know what's going to happen to my feet. I don't want to spend so long on a pair of socks and then grow out of them, but there's always someone you can give socks to. Always someone who wants hand knit socks. Okay, so let me put that back. This is living in my F Cleaning Knit All Day bag by Stitches Plus Pearls. And if you haven't bought a bag from Stitches Plus Pearls, please go on to Etsy and look at her Etsy store, or even go on to Instagram. She just changed her name to Stitches Plus Pearls. It was her own name, and then she decided to change it to her business name, which I think is a great move. So now you can find her much easier on Etsy, and her bags are really, really cute. She uses the Edward Gorey fabrics, and it's just, they're adorable. I have another one here, Yarn Snob. I have a third one somewhere. I have no idea where it is, but. And that was living, those, I don't know what all this stuff is. That was living in my Ruth Bader Ginsburg bag that I got at the Strand, which is awesome. And I put a whole bunch of pins on it. Look at my little mini suffragettes. So they're all over the place. Platform 9 3/4. Swish and flick. So I believe those are all of my whips. I'm looking around. I think that's it. I know I've been a little whip-tastic lately, but I'm for the most part, I'm a monogamous knitter, like 1 or 2 projects. But lately, I've just been buying the most gorgeous yarn, and when you buy a gorgeous skein, you want to cast on. It's just the way we are. I'm not going to apologize. Where did this come from? That in here. Okay. All right. So, stash enhancements. I'm not going to show you everything. Some, you know, I get stuff all the time. It's just random here and there. I get 2 skeins of this, 2 skeins of that. But the fun stuff. So, when I was at Do You Knit for Lavagna's sock class, Karen the proprietor, the yarn pimp extraordinaire, had gotten some new brands in. She's really been expanding her brands lately, and the yarns she picks are extraordinary. So I couldn't wait to go see them. So I got a bunch, and I've been buying them instead of buying one-off skeins. I've been buying 2 or 3 so that if I find a shawl pattern and I really, really want to do it, I have enough. So I cannot pronounce the name of this yarn company. I don't even think she can. So I'm going to show you the tags, and well, let's start with this one. So this is Walk Collection. And this one is called Dried Roses. It's beautiful. And I got 3 of them. So, and this is so soft. If you have a chance to get any Walk Collection yarn, please do. Let's see, I'm trying to, it's 100% superwash merino. It's just, it really is soft. And like, I have a lot of skeins that are 100% superwash and they are not this soft. So, Walk Collection. Then the next one is the brand that we cannot pronounce. This is, I think it's, let's see, Yushitita? I followed this girl on Instagram and I just thought her yarns were gorgeous. And then when Karen, I'm not sure where she met her, but she said she wanted 100 skeins from her, and the girl was like, okay. And this is a really badly told story. Anyway, long story short, I'm there for this sock class and I am just walking around picking up yarn because the colors that this girl makes are incredible. This one's called Wild Honey. I got 3 skeins of that. Okay. And then I got this one. This one's called Where Is My Mind? I don't really understand that colorway, but to me, it reminds me of the crocus that used to come up in the front yard at my parents' house when I was little. My sister and I used to pick them. And it's just all these colors of purples, like all different kinds of purples. And then just a little bit of some oranges thrown in there, and, you know, some auburn. And I think it's beautiful. So I have a shawl in mind for that. So, and then I got this one, which is called Dark Path. And it's like a chocolate mocha brown. Not really a mocha, I don't know. It's like a chocolate brown, but the chocolate is speckled with this gorgeous, gorgeous turquoise. And I just thought it was really different. It was really, really different. I love it. She only had 2. So that's my stash enhancement. I'm sure if I went over there I could find more. I don't really know what I'm buying. That is my stash enhancement from Do You Knit. Now, the other night I was on Instagram. The baby was sleeping and I'm sitting there, of course, watching Gilmore Girls because that's what I do. And Neri Knits, I'm not exactly, I think that's how you say it. Neri Knits. I'll put it in the down bar. On Instagram, I was following her, and she was making, I don't even know what she's making. I was just mesmerized by the yarn that she was using and just doing a plain garter stitch and how beautiful it was coming out. And so I, of course, went on weareknitters.com and ordered the yarn that she was using. Now, I don't know how to say this because it's not to my dismay. I'm not dismayed, but I feel like I thought that this was pink and black, and it's not. It's like a navy blue, like kind of purplish, that speck. I thought it was pink with that navy, but I thought it was black, and I love pink and black. But, you know, and then when I got it today, I was like, this is so soft. So I was like, should I return it? Because it's not what I thought I was getting. And I was like, no, you wear jeans all the time. The blue is beautiful. The pinks are going to stand out. I mean, look at that. It's Merry Wool. It's It's so squishy. And it's, oh, I just love it. It's a single ply. I love thick single plies. I love it. 100% superwash. There's not much information actually on this tag. It doesn't really, it's like, 150 yards to 100 grams. So I'm guessing, what is that? Aran weight? A 100 grams. Yeah, it's kind of Aran. Yeah, maybe even a little heavier. Anyway, Mama went nutso, and I ordered 10 skeins of this. So first I was going to get 8, and then I decided, I was just looking around because I was like, oh, you know, I've already got 8 skeins in my basket. Let me see if there's anything else I want. And then I saw that if you order 10 skeins under a different item, like it's in there under a different item, it says pick out your 10 skeins, and it was less than the 8 skeins I was going to buy in another item. Does that make any sense? So I was like, well, I'm going to get 10 then. But the speckles are $1 more, so you have to watch in your cart. You'll see that they add $1 per skein. Woo! So I've got a bunch of these now. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I think I'm going to make a sweater with it. Any like suggestions are welcome. I have so many sweaters I want to make. I'm going to be like, I have to finish my outline. No, I have to finish my worsted boxy. I have to make the little boxy. Then I want to make my portage cardigan, which that's going to take me years, so I don't think that's going to make it to Rhinebeck this year, though I really want it to. And then I have this, and I was thinking about making a grandpa sweater out of this. Like, I don't know if I'll do one with cables, but, you know, something that's just like a big cardigan and get like toggles for the buttons instead of putting buttonholes in it. Just get like those horn toggles. I don't know. But I love it. I love my We Are Knitters. I will definitely be back on that website. Okay, so that's almost it. I took my husband into Joann Fabrics the other day. We were free, we were out, we were doing stuff. We're having a first birthday party for Franny in April in the house. I decided to throw a Mondo house party, and the house is not done. So I thought it would light a fire under our tushes and get us to finish it. But so far we are just buying things. So we've been making more clutter in the house, which is not really helping. It'll get there, whatever. So we were at, you know, West Elm and Crate and Barrel and all these things in Jersey. There's this, you know, one highway that has them all pretty close together. And then there's a Joann Fabrics over there. So I said, all right, I need another one of these for the baby blanket. I wanted to get more because whenever I go there, they have like 2 or 3 skeins. I just pick up what they have. But, you know, I was in that area, so I wanted more. So I said to my husband, let me just run into Joann Fabrics. You can stay in the car. And he's like, no, I'll come in. Let me tell you, I got 3 skeins of that, and then I found myself cutting fabric because my husband is a huge Doctor Who fan and decided he was going to saunter into the novelty fabric section. So I have yards and yards and yards of Doctor Who fleece because now I'm making him a blanket. Mind you, I don't have time for this. And he's always sweating. The man walks around in the winter in shorts. So what he wanted a fleece blanket for, I don't know. But he does let me escape to my attic sometimes and play with all this stuff. So the least I can do is make him stuff once in a while. Then we got the Doctor Who fabric with all the different doctors. And then the TARDIS with the British flag. And don't tell him, but after I finish Gilmore Girls, and then I'm going to binge watch Jessica Jones, because Kristen Ritter is a knitter, and we need to support each other. And I've loved everything else she's done, so I'm going to watch Jessica Jones, and then I'm going to start from season 1 and watch all of Doctor Who. And it's going to take me like years, and I'm not going to tell him until I'm done. So don't tell him. I know you guys don't know him, but don't tell him. So anyway, that is my haul from Joann Fabrics. What I did like, they had this really cute bag. Let me see if I can get this. Look at this. So many things to do. I really like this bag. And then it has a tape measure for handles. You know, whenever I go to a store and they're selling these bags, I think they're made out of recycled plastic bottles. I buy them because they're usually like $1, and then you don't have plastic bags that are going to get thrown away. Because the world is way too full of plastic bags. I forget what country I was just reading a day or two ago that completely banned plastic bags, and they're just really, really bad for our environment. So even though these are not much better, you're not going to throw it away. You're going to use it for a little while longer. So I try to do my part on that. Trying to think what else to tell you guys. Not much has really been going on. I play with the baby during the day. I knit when she falls asleep. I'm trying to plan her party. First, the theme was going to be unicorns, and let's face it, there should be unicorns at every party, no matter what the theme is. So now I'm just trying to pick a cake and do stuff in the house, get everything settled. We have like a lot of people coming to our house, and I really, fingers crossed, it's a nice day because we live near this park and everybody can just run around outside. It'll be at the end of April, so hopefully that'll be good. I really need to start writing down notes, but let's see. This weekend, I'm going to do knit. Something cute is coming down the pike I'm helping her with. Is it down the pike or down the pipe? I don't remember. Anyway, something new that I'm going to teach her how to do, so stay tuned for that. And then she is coming out with a yarn line, a hand-dyed yarn line that is exclusive to Do You Knit. So I should have some of those next podcast to show you. I got to see a preview at Lavagna's sock class, and the base is beautiful, and I only saw 2 colorways, but definitely well done. So that'll be in Stash and Handspin next week, I'm pretty sure. What else? I wish I had more to tell you guys. I met some wonderful people at that class. It's so nice to see Christy Glass whenever I can. She was having a ball with her eyeball shawl. Hers is so much bigger than everyone else's, but you know, it really depends how you knit. Maybe she knits looser than other people do. I tend to change my tension per project. Like the socks I'm doing with Lavagna's pattern are super tight, but then the baby boxy that I'm making is really loose. I don't understand why. I think sometimes when I do my continental knitting, it's looser, and when I do the English knitting, it's tighter. But I'm trying to teach myself how to purl continental, and I've got it, but it's not really comfortable yet. So we'll see how that works out. Other than that, I think that's all I have for you for this week. I wish you happy knitting, and maybe next week, hopefully, I'm going to get to do it again. I'm going to try to do it every week now that my husband's home for this month, and then when he starts work again, I'll probably disappear again, but and I'm working on my website, and I'm trying to get the stitch markers done. I want to come out with a line of stitch markers, and I've decided that I really want to sew my first dress, so I might buy some might buy some fabric from Rifle Paper Company. Their fabric is gorgeous. I bought this big brick of swatches of their fabric, and because, you know, it says what it is online. This is 100% this is this and this is silk, and I just wanted to see, because their fabric's expensive, so I wanted to see what it felt like before I ordered a dress quantity of it. And it's this one fabric they have it's screen printed with gold. It's got all these different places all over the world on it, and maybe I'll show you next week. And I want to make just like a simple shift dress out of it to wear to my daughter's party. I assume this is really not going to happen. Maybe I'll wear it to her 5th birthday party, but I'm going to try. I have a little bit more free time because he's home, so I'm kind of taking advantage of it. And oh, this is what I completely forgot. This is why people need show notes. So I've decided to destash a little bit, and there's nothing wrong with this yarn. All of my yarn is stored in plastic bins, in an attic. I have no bugs up here, nothing, because I know this is stuff that you could be apprehensive about when buying yarn from someone else's stash. But I really just seriously started knitting about a year ago, so none of this yarn is old. And like, as I said, some of them are one of a kind. Like, these two are the club colorways for March from Hedgehog Fibers. They're just not my taste. You know I love Hedgehog. Once in a while, you stumble across a skein that's just not you. And they're super squishy. Oh, this is so squishy. It's beautiful. It is a beautiful squish. So these are going to be on there. I have 2 skeins. Let me see. I've got some pretty good yarn in here. They're all in plastic, so let me just pull them out so that you can see them all, and then they should be going up in my Etsy store. Follow me on Instagram, and then I'll say when they're going out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just make one listing for Hedgehog Fibers, and then all of the colors for Hedgehog will be there in this drop-down list. So if you want this one, you'll go and choose the Eglantine. And if you want this one, you'll choose the Firestone. So they're going to be one listing, but it'll be just by brand. So I have, do I have 1 or 2? Where is it? Oh, that should be in here. Oh, there it is. Okay. Let me get these out. So I have 2 skeins from No Makers. This one is Pumpkin Spice Latte. Now, it is gorgeous, but I don't knit with a lot of orange, and I don't like pumpkin. So I decided instead of just letting this beautiful skein sit in my stash, I don't even, oh, look, it has a born date. I like that. So you see, this is from August 30th. It is not old yarn at all, and it's been stored wonderfully. It's a fingering sock yarn. 85 superwash, 15% Donegal tweed nylon. So there's this one. And then also from No Makers, which I actually really like this skein, but I can't match it to anything, and maybe you guys can do something with it. It's a DK weight. It's called Hermione. Can you see that? And this is the color. And I have to say, the color on the screen is actually pretty good. It looks a lot like it. So this skein will be going up in the shop. And I really feel bad about reselling stuff that I've bought. You know, sometimes you buy something online because you see someone else knitting with it, and then you just don't end up using it. So, as I said, I am not an authorized seller of these brands. This is a destash. Okay, this is a destash. I was going to try and sell them through Instagram, but I think it might be confusing, so I thought Etsy might be the way to go. Here's another hedgehog. I have a hedgehog chubby, and this is Pinky Swear, and I just couldn't find a place for it in my fade and didn't think I would use it. So grab your chubby. That didn't sound good. I have some Stitch Together Studio, I believe. I don't think this has a colorway written on it, but I have 2 skeins of it. It's quite colorful. It's a gray with a rainbow of speckles. And I have 2. And they came together, so they match pretty well. Okay, so those will be going up in the shop. And I actually have a homespun house that I am selling. This is, it's a little squish, my daughter had her way with it. Soft Sock DK in Dancing Fairies. Okay. And this is a DK that has nylon in it, so if you want to make a pair of DK socks, this is the yarn to use. So this is going up on my destash. All right, now I've got some more hedgehog. I think this one I bought from Stephen and Penelope in Amsterdam, and you know, I just didn't use it. It's a potluck. It's called Potluck 7. It's a little bit more demure than what you're seeing on the screen. A little more muted. There's that one. And then there is this one, which is coral in skinny singles. I just don't care for corals. So I thought I would destash it. Why waste it, right? I mean, if I want it again for a project, I'll rebuy it if I have a project in mind. But just sitting in my stash for no reason. And then these are potlucks also. And I think I may have gotten these at Stephen and Penelope also. These are kind of cool because they're like neon potlucks. They're neon. Okay, so those will be going up all in my Etsy store, which is Gemma Darling Designs, all one word. You can link to it from my bio on Instagram, Gemma Darlings. I'll put everything on the down bar. And then I'm also going to have these 3 minis in the shop. This one is Envy. It's more green than it's showing up. It's showing up very hot. It's like a highlighter green. And then this one is called Heyday. And this one is Pollen. So those minis will be going up. And then this one Primrose Yarn Company Pretty Toes mini skein is going to go up, and that's called Spiceberry. And again, I have so much Primrose and I love it. I just kept looking at that skein and I thought it was beautiful and I didn't have any place for it. So that's going up. I also have 2 skeins of Madeline Tosh, which is really, really chubby because I was doing a blanket with them. But these 2 skeins came and just didn't really have a place in it. Oh wait, no, this is, okay. So this is Madeline Tosh in Mill Pond. And it was supposed to come as more of a speckled green, like a hand-dyed look to it, and it came very flat. Still a wonderful yarn. This is, let's see, it's 100% superwash. It's their ASAP bulky base, and it is 90 yards. So, again, there's nothing wrong with the skein. It just didn't come in the color I liked. Okay, so that's going up there. And then this is 1 skein of Malabrigo. And this one's called Violetta Africana. And it's a beautiful purple. It's a little flatter of a purple than you're seeing on the screen. The screen is making it a little more vibrant. But it's a really big skein. Look how big the skein's as big as my head. Let's see. And this is the Malabrigo Rasta, so it's 90 yards per 150 grams. Okay, so those are going to be going up all in my Etsy store. I'm going to try and take pictures tomorrow and get them up this weekend. My bangs are driving me nuts, so I hope you'll stop by for that. I'm going to try and give you really good prices. There's nothing wrong with this yarn, so if you have a reason for it, you can use it. Let me know. All shipping and handling is on me. I'm not going to charge you guys for shipping. I know that sometimes you're like, why would I buy it online when I can go to my local yarn store? Shipping is on me. So it's going to be a cheaper skein, free shipping. Unless you're out of the country, then I may have to ask for something. But I'm really only going to be shipping to the US and Canada. So if you want something and you're across the pond, private message me and I'll try to set up a listing for you. Okay, so as I said, Gemma Darlings on Instagram, Gemma Darling Designs on Etsy. Some of my bracelets are on Etsy. Some of my necklaces are still there if you want to take a look at that. There should be more going in the shop for the summer. And then, as I said, we're going to try and make stitch markers out of the really, really pretty amethysts and zodiac signs that I have if I can find some time to do that. So it's really just about finding time for things. All right, everyone, happy knitting, happy spring. I want to see everything that you're doing on Instagram, so please follow me and I'll follow you back, and have a good day. See you next week. Definitely, I will see you next week. Bye.